Argentina's dirty war erased over 30,000 lives, vanishing people without a trace, and leaving only silence, unmarked graves, and haunting questions. But this was not the first time history was buried. Centuries earlier, long before modern regimes, the land had already begun to erase entire civilizations, quietly, relentlessly, without a single record. Traces of these forgotten societies remain, scattered across the country, often misread or ignored. In the Calchaquí Valley, stone-built ruins point to organised settlements, constructed with knowledge that predates European arrival. Puente del Inca remains a significant crossing point between Argentina and Chile, spanning rugged mountain terrain and connecting distant regions. And in Iguazu National Park, behind the noise of the falls, the forest conceals structures and clues that suggest a far older and largely undocumented past. Stay with me as we uncover Argentina's hidden wonders, places far more fascinating than any postcard could capture. Tierra del Fuego National Park is the southernmost national park in its region and is unique for combining marine, forest and mountain environments within its boundaries. It marks the southern terminus of the Pan American Highway, a route that stretches from the north of the continent to this remote location. The park's modern history is linked to a penal colony established nearby in the early 20th century. Prisoners built much of the early infrastructure, including a railway used to transport timber, which is now known as the End of the World Train, considered to be the southernmost functioning railway in the world. The park was at the centre of a territorial dispute over nearby islands, almost leading to conflict between neighbouring countries in the late 20th century. It was rebuilt for tourism decades after the prison closed and now offers a unique way to experience the park's landscapes. Laguna Esmeralda is a glacial lake known for its turquoise waters, which are fed by meltwater from the Albino Glacier. The unique hue results from glacial minerals suspended in the water, creating a milky turquoise appearance that changes with the light and weather. Historically, the region has been shaped by glacial and volcanic processes, leaving behind valleys, rivers, and a landscape that supports both rare flora and fauna. The hike to Laguna Esmeralda is considered moderate, making it accessible for most visitors, and is especially popular in the summer months when the weather is milder and the days are longer. The area is also known for sightings of red foxes and other forest animals, especially for those who move quietly through the woods. The Beagle Channel is a strait in the Tierra del Fuego archipelago, marking the southern edge of Tierra del Fuego National Park. It stretches about 240 kilometers, running east to west, and separates the main island of Isla Grande from smaller islands like Navarino and Hoste. The channel's name comes from the HMS Beagle, the British ship that explored these waters in the 19th century, with Captain Robert Fitzroy and naturalist Charles Darwin on board. Darwin first saw glaciers here in 1833 and described the blue colour of the ice as beryl-like, contrasting with the snow above. Historically, the Beagle Channel has been important for navigation between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, along with the Straits of Magellan and Drake Passage. Its strategic location led to a long-standing territorial dispute over several islands at its eastern end, which nearly escalated to war in the late 20th century before a treaty resolved the issue in 1985. Built in the early 20th century, Les Éclaireurs Lighthouse stands on a small islet in the Beagle Channel. Its name means the Scouts in French, highlighting its role in guiding vessels safely through the channel. The lighthouse is a recognisable symbol of the region and is often mistaken for the lighthouse at the end of the world, though it is not the one from Jules Verne's novel of the same name. Cormorants are a common sight in Tierra del Fuego National Park, especially along the rocky islets and shores of the Beagle Channel. These birds are known for their distinctive black and white plumage, long necks and sharp, hooked beaks. The imperial cormorant, sometimes called the blue-eyed shag, is easily recognised by its vivid blue eyes and orange facial patch during the breeding season. Cormorants are expert divers, using their webbed feet and streamlined bodies to pursue fish and crustaceans underwater. Unlike many other water birds, their feathers are not fully waterproof, which helps them dive deeper but requires them to spend time drying their wings in the sun after hunting. La Pattaya Bay is a remote fjord located at the western edge of Tierra del Fuego National Park, known as the southernmost point of the Pan American Highway and the farthest south you can drive in the Western Hemisphere. It marks the end of National Route 3 and the Pan American Highway, a fact commemorated by an iconic sign that draws visitors for photos. Boardwalks and short trails allow easy access to the water's edge and viewpoints, while longer hikes lead through forests, peat bogs, and past beaver dams. It offers the opportunity to have your passport stamped from the end of the world at the bay, and the presence of a small post office on the dock called Puerto Guarani, where visitors can mail a letter from one of the world's southernmost locations. The bay's unique geography means you can look south toward Antarctica, west to the Pacific Ocean, or east to the Atlantic, all from a single spot. Glaciar Ojo del Albino is a remote glacier located deep in the Fuegian Andes within the park. It is a flat, ancient ice field marked by deep crevasses and surrounded by sharp, dark peaks, as meltwater from the glacier feeds the lagoon at its base, where large ice floes often drift. The name translates to albino's eye, referring to the glacier's blue-white ice and the small circular lagoon at its base, which resembles an eye when seen from above. The journey to Glaciar Ojo del Albino is known for being one of the most challenging and rewarding treks in the region. The route begins near Ushuaia and follows the Esmeralda River, passing through Lenga forests, peat bogs, and beaver-dammed wetlands before reaching Laguna Esmeralda, which serves as a midpoint and reference for the hike. From there, the trail ascends steeply through rocky terrain, scree slopes, and high mountain landscapes dominated by rock, snow, and ice. Cerro Marshall is a prominent mountain peak located just northwest of Ushuaia, marking the boundary of the park. The mountain is easily recognised by its sharp ridges, snowfields, and the Marshall Glacier, which sits just below the summit and supplies much of Ushuaia's drinking water. The area is popular for paragliding, with pilots launching from the slopes to glide over Ushuaia and the Beagle Channel. The slopes of the mountain were also the site of some of the earliest ski runs in the area, and today the lower slopes are home to a small ski centre that operates in winter and early spring. Cerro Casta is the southernmost ski resort in the world. Its long ski season and modern facilities attract visitors for skiing, snowboarding, and other winter sports. The resort offers a range of slopes for all abilities, as well as cross-country skiing and snowshoeing through beech forests. Mount Olivia is a prominent peak visible from the main city and the Beagle Channel, easily recognised by its sharp, rugged profile and snow-capped summit. Historically, Mount Olivia has served as a navigational landmark for sailors and explorers travelling through the Beagle Channel. Its dramatic silhouette against the sky has made it a frequent subject for photographers and artists, and it is often admired for its magnificent appearance. Ushuaia is known as the southernmost city in the world and is often called the end of the world. Sitting on a bay along the Beagle Channel, it marks the final stop of the Pan-American Highway and the gateway to Antarctica for many travellers. Its name originates from the language of the Yagan people, who lived in the area long before European arrival. The word combines ush and waya, referring to a bay or cove, and describes the city's position on a deep west-facing bay. The area was first settled by British missionaries in the late 19th century, who adopted the indigenous name for their new outpost. Its early history is also closely tied to its use as a penal colony, as a prison was established to secure a permanent population and reinforce sovereignty in this remote region. The Tren del Fin del Mundo, or End of the World train, was originally built by prisoners to transport wood and supplies, and now serves as a tourist attraction. The route takes passengers through peat bogs, forests of lenga and near trees, and past the Macarena waterfall, ending at the edge of the national park. The train's history as a convict transport and its scenic journey make it a favourite for visitors of all ages. Ushuaia Bay is the natural harbour that shapes the city's geography. The bay is protected from harsh winds by surrounding land and mountains, making it a safe anchorage for ships and a hub for maritime activity. The waterfront is a popular place for walking and cycling, with views of the city, mountains and Beagle Channel. The bay is also the departure point for cruises to Antarctica and wildlife tours along the channel. The Bahia Encerrada Urban Nature Reserve, located within the bay, is home to birdlife and offers a peaceful spot to experience the city's connection to nature. Villa Epecuén was once a well-known spa town on the shore of a salt lake, famous for its mineral-rich waters believed to have healing properties, as well as used in the production of glass. The town grew rapidly after its founding in the 1920s, attracting thousands of visitors each season, especially those seeking relief from skin conditions and rheumatism in waters often compared to the Dead Sea. In 1985, after years of heavy rainfall and a rare weather event, a dam and embankment protecting the town failed, causing the water from the lake to surge in and submerge the town under up to 10 metres of salt water. The town remained underwater for nearly 25 years, with only the tops of buildings and trees occasionally visible above the surface. When the waters finally receded in 2009, what emerged was a ghost town, where the salt preserved and bleached the remains. Ruins coated in white salt, skeletal trees, rusted cars, and abandoned streets still marked by the original grid. The town's last resident, Pablo Novak, returned to Villa Epecuén after the floodwaters receded, living alone among the ruins until he passed away in 2024. Quebrada de Humahuaca is a long, narrow mountain valley in the far north, known for its multicoloured rock formations and legacy as a trading route. The area has served as a major route for people, goods and ideas for over 10,000 years, linking the high Andes to the plains. Its use as a trade and communication corridor dates back to prehistoric hunter-gatherers, and later it became part of the Inca Empire's road network. Cerro de los Siete Colores, or Hill of Seven Colours, rises just outside the town of Purmamarca. Its bands of pink, white, brown, red, green, earthy, and mustard yellow are the result of different minerals and sediments laid down over millions of years, then lifted and exposed by tectonic activity. The hill is one of the most photographed sites in the region and a symbol of the area's unique geology. Fossils found in the hill's layers add to its scientific interest. The best time to see the colours is in the morning, when sunlight brings out the contrasts. El Hornocal, known as the 14 Colours Mountain, is a remote mountain range near the town of Humahuaca. Its slopes display a zigzag pattern of coloured strata with shades of pink, green, yellow, and purple. The colours are especially vivid in the late afternoon. Unlike Cerro de los Siete Colores, El Hornocal is reached by a winding road up to a high viewpoint, offering panoramic views over the valley. The mountain's unique appearance is due to limestone formations called yacoraite, which run through much of the region. Salinas Grandes is a vast salt flat in the far north, known for its endless white surface and surreal, otherworldly appearance. The salt flat formed when ancient lakes dried up, leaving behind thick layers of salt and minerals. Indigenous peoples collected salt here long before modern mining began. The salt was used for preserving food and trading with other communities. Today the site is still mined, with workers using traditional tools to cut salt blocks and create shallow pools for evaporation. The process is slow and labour-intensive, and the salt is sold for both industrial and culinary uses. Pucará de Tilcara is a pre-Inca fortification located on a hill just outside the town of Tilcara in the Quebrada de Humahuaca. site was built by the Omaguaca people, who are known as skilled warriors, farmers, and artisans. The Omaguaca constructed the pucará around the 12th century, organising it into neighbourhoods, corrals, ceremonial spaces, and burial sites. At its height, it housed over 2,000 people, in small stone buildings with low doorways and no windows, though it was eventually conquered by the Inca Empire and later the Spanish colonizers. Unlike some other fortresses, Pucará de Tilcara did not have heavy defensive walls, suggesting it was more of an administrative and productive centre, not just a military stronghold. Today, it is the only publicly accessible archaeological site of its kind in the valley and is recognised as a national monument. Located at the foot of the Andes, Mendoza is recognised worldwide for its wine production, especially Malbec. The area's wine history began with Jesuit priests planting the first vines, but it was the arrival of French grape varieties, especially Malbec, and the construction of the railway to Buenos Aires that transformed Mendoza into a major wine centre. The area soon became the largest wine-producing region in Latin America, and today it produces more than half of the country's wine. Although it is most famously known for its Malbec, it also produces Cabernet Sauvignon, Tempranillo, Chardonnay, and Bonarda. Mendoza's vineyards are home to many of the country's top wineries, offering tours and tastings. It is home to Bodega Catena Zapata, a popular producer most known for its high-altitude Malbecs, such as the Adriana vineyard Mundus Bacillus Terrae, which is consistently rated among the best. Another is Bodega Zucardi, renowned for sustainable practices and award-winning Malbecs like Piedra Infinita Gravascal. Lagarde, one of the oldest wineries mixing tradition and innovation, can also be found here. Tours often include walking through the vineyards, learning about winemaking, and sampling wines paired with local cuisine. Potrerillos Dam is located on the Mendoza River and forms a large reservoir used for flood control, hydroelectric power, and irrigation. The reservoir is a popular spot for kayaking, windsurfing, and fishing, with mountain views all around. The area is also known for hiking and mountain biking trails. Pozo de las Animas, or Well of Souls, is a geological formation made up of two large sinkholes filled with water. The sinkholes were formed by the collapse of underground gypsum caves and are separated by a thin wall that may eventually erode. Local legend says the name comes from the eerie sounds produced by the wind blowing across the water, believed to be the voices of souls. Puente del Inca is a natural stone arch that spans the Las Cuevas River, notably visited and sketched by Charles Darwin. Formed by a combination of glacial debris and mineral-rich hot springs, the bridge is covered in colourful mineral deposits. The site has been a destination for health seekers since the early 20th century, with a now abandoned thermal resort nearby. Local legend tells of an Inca king whose followers formed the bridge with their bodies so he could bring his sick son to the healing hot springs. The Ibera wetlands, whose name comes from the Guarani words for bright water, form one of the largest freshwater wetland systems in South America. This vast region is made up of swamps, lagoons, bogs and slow-moving streams, creating a mosaic of habitats that support thousands of plant and animal species. The wetlands are an important reservoir of fresh water and play a critical role in the region's ecology and climate. Historically, the area was considered unproductive, but conservation and rewilding efforts have transformed it into a showcase for ecological restoration and a hub for ecotourism. The capybara is the world's largest rodent and a signature species of the Ibera wetlands. Capybaras are highly social and are often seen in large groups grazing on aquatic plants along the water's edge. In the absence of large predators, their numbers have grown, and they spend much of their day eating and resting, showing little fear of humans or other animals. Capybaras are semi-aquatic, excellent swimmers, and use water as a refuge from heat or threats. Their relaxed lifestyle is a notable feature of the wetland landscape. Another commonly seen animal in the wetlands is the yakare caiman. These reptiles are often seen basking on riverbanks or gliding through shallow waters, especially at sunrise or sunset. Caimans are top predators in the wetland ecosystem, feeding mainly on fish, amphibians, and occasionally small mammals or birds. They play an important role in controlling fish populations and maintaining the health of aquatic habitats. Despite their fearsome appearance, caimans rarely pose a threat to humans, and conservation efforts have helped their populations recover after decades of hunting for skins. The marsh deer is the largest deer species in South America and is specially adapted to life in wetlands. With long legs and slightly webbed hooves, marsh deer can wade and swim through deep water in search of aquatic plants. They are usually solitary or found in small groups, moving quietly through the reeds and grasses. Males have large, branching antlers, and both sexes have a reddish-brown coat and distinctive markings on their legs and tails. Marsh deer are considered vulnerable due to habitat loss and fragmentation, but the Ibera wetlands remain one of their last strongholds. Known as Argentina's oldest national park, Nahuel Huapi National Park features dense forests of lenga, coihue, and bamboo, as well as high peaks and deep valleys. It is named after Lake Nahuel Huapi, which means Island of the Jaguar in the Mapuche language. Although jaguars do not inhabit the area, local legend speaks of a powerful sorcerer who transformed into a jaguar to cross the lake. The park was created following the donation of land by explorer Francisco Moreno, who recognised the importance of preserving the area. It officially became a national park in the early 20th century and has since become a destination for outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, kayaking, and skiing. The climate varies from cold and snowy winters to dry, mild summers, making it suitable for year-round visits. Villa La Angostura is a small resort town located on the northern shore of Lake Nahuel Huapi within the park. Known for its wooden alpine-style architecture, Villa La Angostura offers a quieter alternative to larger nearby towns, as it grew from a settlement established for its strategic location on a narrow isthmus connecting the Quetrihue Peninsula to the mainland. The town is also the gateway to Los Arayanes National Park, famous for its rare arayan trees with rust-coloured bark. Tronador is a towering extinct stratovolcano located on the park's western border, recognised by its thunderous icefalls. Standing over 3,400 metres tall, it rises sharply above surrounding peaks and hosts several glaciers, including the unusual Ventisquero Negro, known for its dark ice stained by volcanic sediment. The dormant volcano is a popular destination for mountaineers and hikers, with trails leading to mountain huts and glacier viewpoints. San Carlos de Bariloche is a town in Patagonia known for its Swiss-style architecture, reputation as the chocolate capital, and mountain scenery. The modern town began with a shop established by German-Chilean settler Carlos Wiederhold in the late 19th century, and its official founding followed in the early 20th century. Swiss immigrants introduced chalet-style buildings, and its current reputation as the chocolate capital of the region is due to its dozens of chocolate shops lining its streets, as well as being the host of an annual chocolate festival where the world's largest chocolate bar is made and shared on Mitre Street. The Cathedral of Our Lady of Nahuel Huapi is a neo-Gothic church located near the lake, surrounded by gardens. Designed by architect Alejandro Bustillo, who offered his services for free, the cathedral was built in the 1940s using stone and concrete in a style inspired by French Gothic architecture. The cathedral is a centre for religious and cultural events, and its setting offers views of the mountains and the lake. Cerro Cathedral is a mountain near Bariloche and one of the largest ski resorts in the Southern Hemisphere. It offers extensive ski runs and modern facilities, attracting skiers and snowboarders from across the region. In summer, the area is popular for hiking, rock climbing and mountain biking, with trails leading to huts and mountain lakes. The mountain also hosts international ski competitions and has a network of hotels and hostels at its base. Los Glaciares National Park is named for the vast number of glaciers that descend from the southern Patagonian icefield, the largest ice mass in the southern hemisphere outside Antarctica. It covers a wide area where the Andes rise sharply, forming a barrier between the humid forests to the west and the dry steppe to the east. Established in the 1930s and recognised as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the park protects a unique landscape shaped by ancient and ongoing glaciation. El Calafate is the main gateway town to Los Glaciares National Park, located on the southern shore of Lake Argentino. Originally a remote settlement, the town grew rapidly with the rise of glacier tourism, offering a range of accommodations, restaurants and shops, as well as the Laguna Nimes Reserve, where visitors can spot flamingos and other birds. It serves as the base for excursions to Perito Moreno Glacier and other park highlights. Perito Moreno Glacier is the park's most famous glacier, stretching over 30 kilometres in length. It is unique for its dynamic behaviour, as unlike most glaciers, Perito Moreno is stable and even advances periodically. This movement causes the glacier to block a narrow channel of Lake Argentino, forming a natural dam. As water builds up, pressure eventually causes the ice to rupture in a dramatic event, with huge blocks of ice crashing into the lake, a spectacle that draws visitors and scientists alike. The glacier's massive ice walls rise up to 60 meters above the water, and visitors can experience the glacier from viewing balconies, boat tours, or guided ice treks. Lake Argentina is the largest freshwater lake in the country and a central feature of the park, famous for its milky turquoise colour, caused by fine sediment known as glacial flour. The lake receives icebergs from several glaciers, including Uppsala, Onelli, and Perito Moreno, which float across its surface. Boat tours on Lake Argentino allow visitors to approach glacier fronts and see icebergs up close. The lake is also a habitat for a variety of birds, including flamingos, and offers opportunities for fishing and kayaking. Andean flamingos can be seen in the shallow waters of Lake Argentino and nearby lagoons. These birds are adapted to high-altitude, cold environments and are recognised by their pale pink plumage, with bright red markings on the neck and face. Flamingos feed on algae and small crustaceans, filtering food from the water with their specialised beaks. They are social birds, often seen in flocks, and their presence adds a splash of colour to the stark Patagonian landscape. Conservation efforts are underway to protect their habitats, as flamingos face threats from habitat loss and climate change. El Chaltén is a small village at the northern edge of the park, established to secure the region's borders, and now known as the trekking capital of the area. Its name comes from the indigenous Tehuelche word for smoking mountain, referring to the clouds that often shroud nearby peaks. The village is the starting point for many of the park's most famous hikes, including those to Mount Fitzroy and Laguna Torre. Due to this, it offers a range of accommodations, trail maps and guides, and it is popular with backpackers, climbers, and nature lovers. Mount Fitzroy, also called Cerro Chaltén, is one of the most iconic peaks in Patagonia, rising sharply above the surrounding steppe. Its name honours Robert Fitzroy, captain of the HMS Beagle, but its indigenous name means smoking mountain. The granite spire is a symbol of the region and a major challenge for climbers due to its sheer faces and unpredictable weather. The mountain can be seen from many points in the park, and the trek to Laguna de los Tres offers classic views of its summit. Its challenging profile has inspired explorers, artists, and outdoor enthusiasts for generations. Laguna Torre is a glacial lake at the foot of Cerro Torre, reached by a well-marked trail from El Chaltén. The area is popular for camping, photography, and watching sunrise or sunset when the granite peaks glow with colour. The trail is accessible for most hikers and is considered one of the park's classic treks. Cerro Torre is a granite peak west of Fitzroy, defined by its slender, vertical profile and challenging climbing routes. The summit is often capped with a mushroom of rime ice, formed by fierce winds. Cerro Torre was long considered unclimbable and remains one of the most difficult ascents in the world, attracting elite climbers. The mountain is a central feature of the Laguna Torre hike, and its spire-like appearance has made it a legend in mountaineering circles and popular culture. Salta is a city in the northwest known for its well-preserved colonial architecture and Andean cultural legacy. Founded in the late 16th century by Spanish settler Hernando de Lerma, Salta was established as a strategic outpost along the trade route between Lima and Buenos Aires. Its location made it a key commercial and military post, especially during the Wars for Independence, when General Martín Miguel de Güemes led the city's defence against royalist forces. Built in the 19th century, after an earthquake destroyed the earlier church, the Cathedral Basilica de Salta stands out for its pink and yellow neoclassical facade and ornate Baroque entrance. The crypt holds the tombs of important figures from Salta's history, such as General Martín Miguel de Güemes. The cathedral is an active place of worship and pilgrimage, hosting daily mass and major religious festivals, especially the annual celebration of the miracle of the Lord and the Virgin. Convento San Bernardo is among the oldest structures in Salta, famous for its carved oak portal, created by indigenous artisans in 1762, considered a masterpiece of local craftsmanship. Initially built as a hermitage for Salta's first patron saint, it was rebuilt after an earthquake and later served as a hospital before becoming a Carmelite convent in the 19th century. Cañón del Atuel is a canyon carved by the Atuel River that stretches for about 50 kilometers, beginning at the El Nihuil Reservoir and ending at the Valle Grande Reservoir, while featuring multicolored rock formations. Its steep walls and unique rock formations have been sculpted by water and wind erosion over millions of years, creating a landscape with colours and shapes. Historically, the area was colonised by Europeans in the early 1900s, and the development of hydroelectric plants, Nihuil III, III and I4, along the river has played a significant role in the region's economy and infrastructure. The Atuel River's descent through the canyon creates rapids that range from Class 2 to 4, making it a hub for adventure sports. The Calchaquí Valley is a vast region in the northwest, known for its distinct contrasts: arid mountain deserts, green valleys, and dramatic rock formations. The name comes from the Calchaquí people, a Diaguita-speaking group who lived here before the Spanish conquest. The valley is a graben, bordered by mountain ranges and crossed by rivers like the Calchaquí, Santa Maria, and Conchas. Its landscape is shaped by tectonic forces and erosion, creating a patchwork of canyons, coloured cliffs, and fertile plains. Tafí del Valle sits at the entrance to the Calchaquí Valley, known for its cool climate and dairy farms producing artisan cheese. The area was a strategic frontier during the Inca era and later became a colonial agricultural centre. Jesuits built the first chapel and introduced new crops and livestock. Today, Tafí del Valle is known for its artisan cheese, ranch tourism, and archaeological sites. Wild horses roaming the high plains and valleys of the region are a frequent sight there as well. These animals are descendants of horses brought by Spanish colonists and have adapted to the rugged environment. They graze in family groups, moving between grasslands and riverbanks. The sight of wild horses running through the valley is a symbol of the region's untamed character and is often featured in local folklore and festivals. Quebrada de las Conchas is a canyon famous for its jagged rock formations and multicoloured cliffs. Formed by the Conchas River, this area features landmarks like the Garganta del Diablo, Devil's Throat, Anfiteatro, a natural amphitheatre, Los Castillos, castle-like spires, and La Yesera, known for fossilised fish. The canyon's layers reveal millions of years of geological history, and its colours shift with the light. Hiking and guided tours offer visitors the chance to explore the intense landscape and learn about its paleontological and geological significance. Cafayate is a town in the heart of the valley, known as the Land of the Sun. Jesuits introduced grapevines here in the 16th century, and today Cafayate is a major centre for high-altitude wine production, especially Torrontés, a white grape unique to the region. Another common species seen in the area is the vicuña, a wild camelid related to llamas and alpacas, living in the high Andes and grasslands of the Calchaquí Valley. They are smaller and more delicate than guanacos, with soft, valuable wool once reserved for Inca royalty. Vicuñas live in family groups led by a male, grazing on tough grasses and using their keen hearing to detect predators. They are shy and quick, and their presence is a sign of a healthy ecosystem. Conservation has helped their numbers recover after near extinction due to hunting. Quebrada de las Flechas, or Gorge of the Arrows, is a section of the valley where sharp, blade-like rock formations jut skyward, resembling a field of stone arrows. These formations are the result of ancient sediments, uplifted and eroded over millions of years. The landscape is stark, with layers of grey and white rock, creating a surreal, almost lunar scene. The area is popular for photography, hiking and 4x4 excursions. The ruins of San Ignacio Mini are the remains of a 17th century Jesuit mission, recognised for their intricate red sandstone architecture and the deep influence of the indigenous Guarani people. The mission was originally founded in the early 1600s, moved several times due to attacks, and finally settled in its current location at the end of the 17th century. Its layout included a grand church, central plaza, cemetery, priest's house, and hundreds of dwellings, all built from locally quarried red sandstone. The church, designed by Italian priest Juan Brassanelli, was especially notable for its size and the thickness of its walls, which have helped the ruins withstand centuries of weathering. Córdoba is the second largest city in its country, known for its colonial architecture, deep Jesuit influence, and a lively student population. The city's name comes from Córdoba, Spain, chosen by its founder Jerónimo Luis de Cabrera in the 16th century. Córdoba's early growth was shaped by its strategic position along colonial trade routes and the arrival of the Jesuits, who established the city as a centre for education and religious activity. The National University of Córdoba, founded by the Jesuits in 1613, is the oldest university in the country and the third oldest in the Americas. The Iglesia del Sagrado Corazón de Jesús commonly known as the Church of the Capuchins, is a magnificent neo-Gothic church in the Nueva Córdoba neighbourhood. Built between 1928 and 1934, it features an intentionally unfinished steeple and is still maintained by the Capuchin Franciscan order today. The facade is covered with elaborate sculptures, including figures of atlases bearing the weight of religious figures and the sins of humanity. The Catedral de Nuestra Señora de la Asunción is the main cathedral of Córdoba and one of the oldest intact colonial constructions in the country. Construction began in the late 16th century and spanned more than a century, resulting in a building that combines Spanish Baroque, Renaissance, neoclassical, and even Mudéjar elements. Founded in the mid-18th century, Iruya is a secluded mountain village perched high in the Andes, established as a mission outpost and quickly became a hub for local indigenous communities and Spanish settlers. The village is accessible only by a winding, unpaved road that crosses steep mountain passes and riverbeds, and has no gas stations or ATMs, with electricity only arriving in recent decades. Its residents still maintain a way of life shaped by centuries of Andean culture, surrounding themselves with traditional music, weaving, and annual patron saint festivals. The village layout reflects its colonial past, with narrow cobblestone streets, adobe houses, and terraced fields clinging to the hillsides. The Andes Mountains are the world's longest continental mountain range, stretching along the entire western edge of South America and forming a natural barrier. They are divided into three main sections: the Southern Andes, Central Andes, and Northern Andes, each with distinct landscapes and climates. The range includes volcanoes, glaciers, deserts, lakes, grasslands, and forests. The mountains have played a central role in the development of ancient civilizations, most famously the Inca Empire, which built extensive road networks and cities like Machu Picchu. Today, the Andes are a destination for trekking, mountaineering, and cultural exploration, with trails like the Inca Trail and sites such as Lake Titicaca and Salar de Uyuni. It is also notably home to the highest peak in the Americas, as well as the entire western and southern hemispheres, Aconcagua. Rising to nearly 7,000 metres, Aconcagua is one of the 7 summits and part of the principal Cordillera. The first recorded ascent was by Swiss climber Matthias Zurbriggen in 1897, and since then it has become a major destination for mountaineers worldwide. San Martín de los Andes is a mountain town in northwestern Patagonia, known for its alpine-style architecture, scenic setting, and role as the main gateway to Lanín National Park and the Ruta de los Siete Lagos. The town sits at the eastern end of Lake Lácar, surrounded by forests and peaks of the Andes. Its name honours General José de San Martín, a leader of South American independence. Lake Lácar is a glacial lake at the foot of the Andes, with deep blue waters and steep, often cliff-lined shores. It is the only major lake in the region that drains westward into the Pacific Ocean, a fact that once led to international border disputes. The lake is important in Mapuche oral tradition, featuring in creation myths and holding sacred significance. The town's main beach and pier offer access to boat tours, kayaking, and fishing. Lanín National Park surrounds San Martín de los Andes and protects over 3,700 square kilometres of Patagonian forest, mountains, and lakes. The park is dominated by the snow-capped Lanín volcano, a nearly perfect cone that rises above the landscape and is a symbol of the region. It is home to Lenga, Coihue, and Rauli forests, as well as the ancient Pehuen, whose seeds are a traditional food for the Mapuche and Pehuenche peoples. Popular hikes include the ascent of Lanín Volcano, which requires a guide, and trails to viewpoints and waterfalls like Chachin. The park also offers hot springs, geological formations, and opportunities to learn about local indigenous communities. The Ruta de los Siete Lagos, starting from San Martín de los Andes, connects a string of glacial lakes and is considered one of the most scenic drives in Patagonia. Lake Huechulafquen is one of the largest Andean lakes in the region, located within Lanín National Park and fed by glaciers and meltwater from Lanín volcano. Its name means long lake in Mapuche, reflecting its elongated shape. The lake is connected to Paimun and Epulafquen lakes by narrow straits, and the Ximehuin River flows from its southeastern end. Tigre is a riverside town located just north of Buenos Aires, famous for its markets, rowing culture, and unique position at the gateway to the Paraná Delta, a vast network of winding rivers, islands, and canals that is also the only major delta in the world that flows into another river rather than the sea. It is made up of thousands of islands, and life here is shaped by the waterways. Many homes, shops, and schools are built on stilts, and boats are the main form of transportation. The Tigre River is one of the main waterways running through the town and into the delta, central to daily life, serving as the main route for passenger boats, water taxis, and cargo vessels. Its banks are lined with rowing clubs, old mansions, and public parks. The river's waters are tinted brown by sediment from upstream, a result of the vast volume of water flowing from South America's major rivers through the delta's narrow channels. It is also the starting point for most boat tours, which take visitors deep into the delta to see its islands, wildlife, and unique stilt architecture. The Museo de Arte Tigre is a landmark building on the riverfront, originally built in 1912 as a social club for the elite. The museum's grand architecture, with sweeping staircases and ornate balconies, reflects the town's heyday as a leisure destination for wealthy families. Today, the museum houses a significant collection of Argentine figurative art from the late 19th and 20th centuries, featuring works by prominent national artists. Located on the Atlantic coast, Peninsula Valdez stretches far into the ocean, connected to the mainland by a narrow isthmus, making it almost an island. Its shoreline features sheltered gulfs, mudflats, sandy and pebble beaches, and tidal lagoons. The area has long been important for its wildlife, with early scientific studies in the 20th century helping to secure its protection. The peninsula's isolation and single entry point at the Ameghino Isthmus have made conservation management effective, and strict protection measures are in place to preserve its fragile ecosystem. Magellanic penguins are medium-sized penguins that nest in large colonies along the peninsula's shores. Every year, thousands arrive between September and March to breed, dig burrows, and raise their chicks. The penguins are easily recognised by their black and white plumage and distinctive bands across the chest. They form monogamous pairs and return to the same nesting sites each year. Chicks grow rapidly, and by the end of the season are ready to swim out to sea. Visitors can observe the penguins at close range from marked trails, making it a highlight for families and wildlife enthusiasts. Peninsula Valdez is also famous as one of the world's most important breeding grounds for the southern right whale. Like the penguins, the whales arrive each year in the calm, sheltered waters of Golfo Nuevo and Golfo San Jose to mate and give birth, though it happens from May to December instead. These whales are easily identified by their broad backs, lack of dorsal fin, and callosities on their heads. Whale watching is possible from both land and boat, with the town of Puerto Piramides serving as the main base for excursions. The sight of whales breaching, tail slapping, or swimming close to shore is a major draw for visitors and researchers alike. Other species that frequent the peninsula during their mating season are the South American sea lions and southern elephant seals, forming large colonies along the coast. South American sea lions are easily recognised by their thick manes and robust heads, while southern elephant seals are the largest seals in the region, with males distinguished by their large, trunk-like noses. Although they are different animals, they share a handful of mating habits. During the breeding season, which begins in December for the sea lions and August for the seals, males arrive first to claim territories, engaging in loud displays and posturing to establish dominance. Each dominant male would usually gather a harem of females, up to 10 females for sea lions and up to 100 for seals. However, while fights between sea lions are more verbally threatening via roars and grunts, fights between seals are more physical. Finally, there is the guanaco, a wild camelid species closely related to the llama, commonly seen grazing in the arid landscapes of Peninsula Valdez. Guanacos are adapted to the Patagonian steppe, living in herds led by a dominant male, with females and their young forming family groups, while bachelor males form separate groups or live alone. They are herbivores, feeding mainly on grasses and shrubs, but will also eat lichens, cacti, and other plants when food is scarce. They can survive long periods without drinking water, obtaining moisture from their diet. These animals are also alert and fast, capable of running at high speeds to escape predators. They use a high-pitched alarm call to warn the herd of danger, and in open habitats, chulengos follow their mothers, rather than hiding, relying on the group for protection. Puerto Madryn is a coastal city on the shores of Golfo Nuevo, known for its role as a gateway to the wildlife reserves of Peninsula Valdez and the Atlantic coast. The town was founded in 1865 when 150 Welsh immigrants arrived on the ship Mimosa and named the natural port Porth Madryn, after the Baron of Madryn's estate in Wales. Early settlers faced tough conditions, digging irrigation ditches for crops and relying on help from local Tehuelche people. The arrival of the Central Chubut Railway in the late 19th century connected Puerto Madryn to other settlements, spurring growth as a port and commercial hub. Cueva de las Manos, or Cave of the Hands, is a prehistoric site in Patagonia, famous for its extensive collection of ancient rock art. The cave takes its name from the hundreds of stenciled human handprints, mostly left hands, adorning the rock walls in vivid shades of red, white, black, yellow, and purple. Mar del Plata is the country's most famous beach resort city, located on the Atlantic coast. Founded in the late 19th century, Mar del Plata quickly became a fashionable getaway for the elite, who built grand seaside mansions and luxury hotels. The arrival of the railway made it accessible to the middle class, transforming the city into a summer destination for people from all walks of life. The Christ the Redeemer statue in Mar del Plata stands atop a hill overlooking the city and the sea. Erected in the mid-20th century, the statue is a local landmark and a site for religious processions and celebrations. It serves as a symbol of protection for fishermen and sailors, who often stop to pray before heading out to sea. Located near the city centre and the Rambla Casino, Bristol Beach has been the heart of the city's beach culture since the early 20th century. It is famous for its colourful umbrellas, crowded summer scenes, and lively boardwalk, where vendors sell snacks, souvenirs, and beach gear. The beach is also the site of many local traditions, including New Year's celebrations and sand sculpture contests. The cliffs of Mar del Plata provide a dramatic contrast to the city's sandy beaches. Located to the south and north of the city centre, these rocky outcrops offer stunning ocean views and are popular spots for photography, picnics and quiet walks. The cliffs are home to seabirds and provide a natural barrier against the Atlantic waves. Some areas feature stairways and lookout points, while others are more rugged and wild. Epuyén Lake is known for having the clearest waters in the region, with visibility reaching over 30 metres, making it a national record and often compared to the clarity of Caribbean seas. The area's earliest known inhabitants were the Tehuelche, who were nomadic and travelled throughout Patagonia. Later, Mapuche and Araucano groups settled, bringing their language, religious customs, and a respect for nature that still influences the local culture. The town of Epuyén was officially founded in the early 20th century, and its rural economy was initially based on agriculture, with wheat, potatoes, and fruit as main crops. Over time, new settlers introduced stone fruit plantations and developed agrotourism, artisanal products, and adventure tourism. To keep its perfect condition, it has a strict ban on motorised boats, which has helped keep the water pristine and undisturbed. Posadas is the capital of Misiones province, located on the left bank of the Paraná River, directly across from Encarnación in Paraguay. The city serves as the administrative, cultural, and economic centre of the province, with industries such as furniture, tobacco, food, textiles, and construction playing key roles. The name Posadas honours Gervasio Antonio de Posadas, who was the supreme director of the Argentine Confederation in the early 19th century. The city's origins date back to the early 17th century, when Jesuit missions and reductions were established in the region. The first settlement, Anunciación de Itapúa, was founded by Father Roque González y de Santa Cruz in 1615, but was later moved across the river to what is now Encarnación, Paraguay. During the Paraguayan War, the site became a military base, and after the conflict, Paraguay relinquished its claims to the area. The Paraná River is one of South America's longest and most important waterways, flowing through Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina before emptying into the Rio de la Plata estuary. The river's basin covers a vast area and supports agriculture, fishing, trade, and hydroelectric power production. Major dams such as Itaipu supply energy to millions and have transformed the economic landscape of the region. The Ruinas de Quilmes are the remains of an ancient indigenous city in Tucumán, dating back over 1,000 years. The site is named after the Quilmes people, a Diaguita-speaking group who built and inhabited this citadel at the foot and on the slopes of Alto del Rey. The Quilmes established their settlement around the 10th century, taking advantage of fertile soil, reliable water sources, and a strategic location that allowed them to control trade routes through the Santa Maria Valley. They even developed advanced agricultural techniques, constructing irrigation ditches, channels, and dams to manage mountain water. Buenos Aires is the capital and largest city, known for its European-style architecture, tango, and long historical legacy. The city's name means good airs, or fair winds, a reference to the Virgin Mary of Bonaria, whom Spanish sailors believed brought them safe passage and favourable winds on their journeys. The city was founded twice, first in 1536 by Pedro de Mendoza as Nuestra Señora Santa Maria del Buen Aire, and again in 1580 by Juan de Garay, after the original settlement was abandoned due to attacks and hardships. The city's population and character changed dramatically with waves of European immigration, especially from Italy and Spain, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This influx brought new languages, foods, and customs, such as tango, a dance and music style born in the working-class neighbourhoods, which became a symbol of Buenos Aires and is still performed in dance halls throughout the city. The city's architecture is a mix of neoclassical, Art Deco, and modernist styles, reflecting its European influences and periods of rapid growth. The obelisco is the city's most recognisable landmark, built in 1936 to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the first foundation of Buenos Aires. Designed by architect Alberto Prebisch, it stands at the intersection of Avenida 9 de Julio and Corrientes, marking the spot where the national flag was first raised in the city. The obelisco is a focal point for celebrations, protests and public gatherings, and its silhouette is a symbol of Buenos Aires. The Congreso de la Nación Argentina is the seat of the national legislature, located at the western end of Avenida de Mayo. The grand building, with its green dome and neoclassical facade, is a centre of political life and lawmaking. It is surrounded by Plaza del Congreso, and its position connects directly to the city's main square, Plaza de Mayo, via the historic avenue. The Basilica de Nuestra Señora de Luján is a major neo-Gothic church dedicated to the patron saint of Argentina, located in the city of Luján, west of the capital. With its twin spires and ornate interior, the Basilica is Argentina's most important Catholic site for pilgrimages and national religious celebrations. It houses important relics and is known for its massive organ and stained glass windows. The Galileo Galilei Planetarium, located in the Palermo neighbourhood, is an iconic dome-shaped building, dedicated to astronomy and science education. Inaugurated in 1966, the planetarium features a distinctive geometric design and hosts exhibitions, star shows, and educational programs. Its unique architecture and location in Parque 3 de Febrero make it a popular spot for families and students. The Torre Monumental, formerly known as the Torre de los Ingleses, is a Renaissance-style clock tower in the Retiro district. Donated by the British community to mark the centenary of independence, it stands near the main railway station and port. The tower is clad in red brick and stone, with a clock visible from a distance, and offers panoramic views from its upper levels. Casa Rosada, or Pink House, is the official workplace of the president and a symbol of executive power. Located at the eastern end of Plaza de Mayo, the building's distinctive pink colour is said to represent unity between political factions, or to have originated from mixing cow's blood with paint to protect against humidity. Casa Rosada has been the site of historic speeches, protests and political events, and its balconies overlook the city's main square. The Basilica of Our Lady of the Pillar, Basilica de Nuestra Señora del Pilar, is the second oldest church in Buenos Aires, completed in 1732 in the Recoleta neighbourhood. Built by Jesuit architects, the church features a white colonial facade, Baroque altarpieces, and silverwork from Peru. It was originally part of a Franciscan monastery and is now a National Historic Monument. Iguazu National Park, located in the province of Misiones, is world-renowned for its immense waterfalls, subtropical rainforest, and extraordinary biodiversity. The park's name is a reference to the mighty Iguazu River that flows through the region and creates the spectacular Iguazu Falls. The area has been inhabited for thousands of years, first by hunter-gatherers and later by the Guarani people, whose influence is still visible in local place names and cultural practices. It was first officially established in 1934 to protect the falls and the surrounding Atlantic forest, a highly threatened biome known for its exceptional plant and animal life. It notably became internationally famous after Spanish explorer Álvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca encountered them in the 16th century, naming them Saltos de Santa Mary. The Devil's Throat is the most iconic and powerful section of Iguazu Falls, forming a colossal U-shaped chasm on the border between Argentina and Brazil. About half of the Iguazu River's flow plunges into this narrow gorge, which stands 82 metres high, 150 metres wide, and extends 700 metres in length. The immense volume of water creates a deafening roar, thick mist, and frequent rainbows. The park is also home to howler monkeys and capuchins, which inhabit the surrounding rainforest. These capuchin monkeys are one of the most intelligent and social species inhabiting the dense rainforest of Iguazu National Park. The black capuchin is especially common here, often seen foraging in the treetops and occasionally venturing close to visitor trails in search of food. They live in groups of up to 20 individuals, led by an alpha male, and communicate through a range of vocalizations and gestures. This is Argentina, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Michigan, check out this video.